Coming up on today's episode of Parasport Nation, Milano Cortina 2026 have partnered up with the production company Harder Than You Think. They're the folks behind the Netflix Emmy-winning documentary Rising Phoenix, Calum, Campbell, and we also have Livia Draghi from the Milano Cortina side and the Harder Than You Think side join the show to talk about this new partnership. Let's get started.
Welcome to Parasport Nation with Alex Smyth and Nathan Clement.
Welcome into Parasport Nation. As always, I'm your host, Alex Smyth, and joined by co-host Nathan Clement. Nathan, we have a really fascinating interview today. So how are you doing? Are you excited to find out what's going to be in store for the Milano Cortina 2026 side of things when it comes to Paralympic documentaries?
Oh, I cannot wait. With all the work that's really going on and Parasport documentation, I'm really excited to see and hear about everything that's going on today, as I was not present for the interview. So it's going to be really amazing to hear the conversation you had with them, Alex.
Yeah, it was. I missed you certainly in that interview, getting your perspective on things, but for myself, being able to talk to both Livia and Calum being from Harder Than You Think, Livia being from the Milano Cortina 2026 organizing committee, getting their perspectives on this partnership, raising the awareness of what is taking place in the Paralympics next year, and the process behind creating another long-form documentary and short-form content for the games is really fascinating. So without further ado, here's my interview with Calum Campbell from Harder Than You Think and Livia Draghi from Milano Cortina 2026. Calum, Livia, thank you so much for taking the time to chat with me today.
Thanks for having us.
So Calum, I want to start with you. Where did the idea for this documentary come from?
Well, it was a kind of collectively thought up idea. We've done a lot of work within this space. You know, we made Rising Phoenix back in 2020. We've made films, we've made podcasts, we've made TV series around the Paralympic Games, but we've never really done anything officially around the Paralympic Winter Games. And so we've spoken about it a lot over the years, but we've never formally done it. And then when these guys got in touch with us, the Milano Cortina 2026 team got in touch with us in, a number of months ago, we were very excited because we thought, wow, what a great opportunity to, start building content in multiple formats actually around the Paralympic Winter Games. And we know there's some amazing stories to tell, some amazing sports to show visually. And so, yeah, we're very excited about it. And we're really looking forward to getting going.
Well, and talk a bit more about the different diversity of content. As you say, it's not just going to be a long-form documentary like Rising Phoenix. There's also going to be other forms of content during and before the game. So, expand on what type of coverage you're going to be doing. Yeah,
so, a bit like, obviously, we're mainly known for having produced a documentary in 2020 that was on Netflix. But throughout our whole history as a company, since 2018, 2019, we haven't just produced documentaries. As I said earlier, we've done podcasts, we've done other forms of factual storytelling. And for this project specifically, we're kind of reinventing the model for how we do this slightly. And we've decided between us and Milano Cortina, the organising committee, that we want to create and produce content for before, during and after the Paralympic Winter Games in Milano Cortina. So before the Games, we're going to do social series. We're going to follow athletes on their journeys towards the Games. We're going to do a podcast series where we're going to, learn more about the life stories and the sports of the star athletes from around the world. And then, during the Games, we're going to go behind the scenes at the Games, outside the field of play. And we're going to document how experiences go at the Games. And then post-Games, we're going to release an official long-form documentary film, first of its kind, I believe, at the Paralympic Winter Games. And we're very excited about it. So, we're going to be producing for before, during and after the Paralympic Winter Games. We've got multiple objectives. We want to build the biggest possible audience for the Games, but then we also have a vision that we can build a long form film, a bit like we did with Rising Phoenix, that focuses on the 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 winter movement and the Paralympic Winter Games. So we've got multiple formats in mind, and we're really looking forward to getting going.
And Livia, I want to bring you in on this. Why was it important from you and the organizing committee's perspective to highlight not just what's happening on the field of play, but also taking people behind the scenes and learning more and hearing more of these types of stories?
Because the magic of Paralympic Games doesn't just happen on the field of play. It's about the journey to get there for the athletes, for the Paralympic movement, and for the organizing committee too. As Calum and our friends of Harder Than You Think know well, that journey is full of powerful, of untold stories, of resilience, sacrifice and determination. With this project, for the very first time, we are offering an intimate, behind-the-scenes look at the lives of our Winter Paralympians, and we will showcase that the road to Milano Cortina 2026, it's not just about the competition. It's about courage, hope, and will to inspire. These are the moments that define legacy and what it means to live it. And we think that they deserve to be shared, not just during the games, but every step of the way. And talking about every step of the way, it won't be just about the athletes. For the first time, as Calum said, the project will show behind the scenes of the organizing committee. The final meter of our road to the games, how the organizing committee prepares and delivers Milano Cortina 2026 Paralympic Winter Games to the world. In our organizing committee, we have colleagues who are also Paralympians. So we will also underline the challenges and the expertise involved. So it's a 360 project, you know.
Oh, that's fantastic. And getting all those different aspects and elements involved is so key, because so much goes into putting on a Paralympic game and the work throughout the cycle to make sure everything is in place and ready for when those athletes compete is so key. Calum, for yourself, Harder Than You Think, obviously they're no strangers to the parasports world. How beneficial is it having that kind of knowledge of a parasport, not only the kind of the setup or structure of how a Paralympics works, how the different types of classification works, but also the education piece of the awareness of, hey, this is what parasport is. How has that kind of built a foundation for you and your team to be able to highlight the sports and go take this further in this new project?
Yeah, it's a really interesting question, and thanks for bringing it up. I think from our perspective, we know that there are multi layers to the audiences that we're going to try and attract to this. Some people have real knowledge and awareness of the Paralympics and know a lot about the different sports and athletes and personalities and different and different events within each sports as well. Whereas, some people have less of an understanding coming to it about how it all works and how it all operates. So we like to approach content through the lens of trying to attract both of those groups to be engaged and interested in what we're producing and interested in engaging in what we're producing. And so, from our perspective, there's only 6 sports for the Paralympic Winter Games compared to more than 20 for the summer. So we feel there's a really interesting and unique opportunity here to really deep dive into those 6 sports and also get into, different events within those sports as well. And obviously, some of those sports are incredibly popular. In fact, all of those 6 sports, from what we understand, they are really growing in terms of their popularity globally. And so we're very excited for the opportunity ahead, both to educate and inform people about the 6 sports in a way that some people might not be aware of coming into it. But separately, we're also really excited about the opportunity to showcase the mindsets that these athletes have and why they should be revered and cheered on for the fantastic human beings they are, as well as being great athletes.
And Livia, this is for you. For in order to capture all of these stories, all of these athletes, and get a real sense of the competition, that requires a lot of access. So what access is Calum and his team at Harder Than You Think getting, and why was it important to make sure that they have all the access that they need to tell those stories?
This is an unprecedented collaboration, one that reflects our ambition to tell the most authentic and compelling and emotional story ever captured around the Paralympic Winter Games. We will be together on the field, and by field, as I said, I mean the journey. Harder Than You Think, Calum and the guys will have exclusive behind-the-scenes access across every stage of the journey, from early athletes training camps to preparation by the organizing committee to the intense days of competition. They will be embedded before, during, and after the Winter Games, closer than ever to action. Let me say that they will be there as history is made. It's the first time this level of access has ever been granted for Paralympic Winter Games. And it's what will make the storytelling not just powerful, but deeply moving, profoundly real, and we hope unforgettable.
Well, that's got to be exciting for you and your team, Calum, to have like the most access ever granted for a Winter Paralympic game. How are you guys planning on actually documenting all of the action, all of the different storylines? And are there specific stories or athletes that you've already kind of caught your interest or already kind of planning on, hey, we should kind of follow them during the competition?
Yeah, I mean, look, from our perspective, this is really a collaboration, as Livia just said. And, this is unique for us. We've been partnered with the International Paralympic Committee now for a number of years. But this is the first time we partner with an OCOG, an organising committee in the build-up to a Games. So, we will build this whole project together. There won't be any storylines or athletes that we will go and document without a collaborative approach, and everyone will sign in and be happy with our plans before we proceed. But in truth, from what we know, and we've been learning a lot across the last few months, we know that all 6 of the sports have got really fascinating characters within them. We definitely will, as part of the content for before, during, and after the Games, we will be looking to cover all 6 sports as part of the coverage and as part of the content we produce. And yeah, clearly there are athletes that we've already taken an eye to or that we've taken real interest in. We've spoken to many athletes already from around the world. But you know what? I've never met a Paralympian who doesn't interest me. And so, from our perspective, as much as we've already got lists of athletes that we're interested in, there's always more to find. There's always more to talk to. And right now, there isn't a defined list of athletes to be part of the project. I think if we're honest, we want to keep thinking and keep looking into that and keep talking to people for now. But we're very excited, and we know that there's so many amazing stories out there from athletes across the world, from different sports, different disability groups, etc., who've got incredible stories to tell, and also can show to the world, the kind of incredible mindsets and mental strength that the athlete community possess. And so we're just very excited to have this opportunity to collaborate with Livia and her team at Milano Cortina. And we're very excited to be documenting the action and content and storytelling across the 6 sports.
Well, as a Canadian broadcaster, I think I should put forth a few recommendations to you guys. Just plant it in your ear. The para ice hockey competition. Whenever Canada plays the U.S., I think that is going to be a bit of must-watch action. I think it can be must-watch TV as well, or a documentary format. So maybe there's something to explore there. And then the other one I think deserves some recognition, at least from the Canadian perspective, the para biathlon team with Team Canada and the para Nordic team. Phenomenal. They've been dominating the entire quadrennial, so certainly keep your eye out for them. But I'm done promoting the home side for the.
I can just say on that, by the way, that I have already spoken to para ice hockey players from both the American and the Canadian teams.
Okay.
And so I know a bit about the rivalry, and I know a bit about the level of competition on offer between those two. And 100%. All I'll say for now is it's on our radar.
100%. Okay, that's good enough for me, Calum. Livia, last question I have for you. In terms of this documentary, what role do you see this in shaping the perspective of the Paralympic sports globally and also inspiring those future generations? Because this is obviously the Paralympics is about bringing the best competition together, but also showcasing the talent and the skill to the world.
We want to make something that is more than an official documentary. You know, we want it to be a cultural statement, one that reflects the deeper legacy we are helping to build through Milano Cortina 2026. These games are the catalyst for change, an opportunity to accelerate on the inclusivity and accessibility front. We want to help redefining how the world sees disability and sport by placing Paralympic athletes at the center of the narrative, not only as incredible performers, but as powerful, inspiring human beings. By following their journeys with authenticity, of course, and emotion, we are helping audiences connect more. We would like to help audiences connect more deeply with their stories and inviting the next generation to dream without limits. So not just a symbolic legacy, but also a tangible one to be part of our whole strategy, together with the host cities, the 2 autonomous provinces and the 2 regional governments. Fondazione Milano Cortina 2026 is implementing an ambitious accessibility action plan, from infrastructure and mobility to digital access and inclusive communication. We are creating environments where everyone can fully experience the games. A few examples: the Arena di Verona, the majestic stage of our opening ceremony on the 6th March 2026. Thanks to a 20 million euros renovation, will soon be accessible while preserving its eternal famous beauty. The ice stadium in Cortina, the Stadio del Ghiaccio in Cortina, which remained inaccessible during the 1956 games, will now become accessible with elevators, inclusive seatings, and fully modernized facilities. Milano, already a model of accessibility, is moving even further. 26 metro station of the M1 and M2 lines are being equipped with new elevators and stair lift. Sorry, I lost you for a second. Sorry. Okay, now I'm back. Yeah, or back to our program. Thanks to our adaptive winter sport program and the support of our partners, of course, we have trained instructors and coaches, launched Paralympic Winter camps, and opened the world of sport to thousands of young people with disabilities. Over 1 million students have already taken part in Olympic and Paralympic education programs, discussing the importance of Olympic and Paralympic values. Milano Cortina accessibility roadmap will touch we hope that will touch every aspect of the games. So we think that Milano Cortina 2026, it's not just hosting Paralympic Winter Games, it's helping to shape our world, setting a new standard for accessibility and inclusion. Also thanks to this wonderful project, an official film that will be the emotional and cultural mirror of that journey, capturing not only what it takes to compete, but what it means to belong, helping create change. We want to move hard to shift perspective and help create the world we want to live in.
That sounds phenomenal, and it just certainly, as we have seen in other Paralympic stops, that you do have that lasting legacy of improved accessibility, improved interest and support, and building a strong foundation to carry on. And Calum, last question to you. I'm curious how you foresee this project and this partnership impacting the global narrative around global Paralympic sport, and then the athletes that you're going to be profiling as well.
Yeah, I mean, look, it's a really good question. I mean, from our perspective, having worked in this space now for 6 or 7 years, of producing content around the story of the Paralympics, working in collaboration with the IPC, working in collaboration with NPCs, and now obviously working in collaboration with an OCOG for the first time. from our perspective, the thing that we see as being really impactful here is this. As I mentioned earlier, this is the first time we've done storytelling specifically around the Paralympic Winter Games, and I do feel, having developed a bit of a knowledge about the Paralympic movement over a number of years, that storytelling around the Paralympic Winter Games, there's a lot less that I see around the Paralympic Winter Games in general in the media than I do around the summer movement and the summer games. And so I see this as a great opportunity to showcase to the world the power of the 6 sports within the Paralympic Winter Games and the power of these athletes and their mindsets, and how they kind of embody in our mindset, and the way we've always seen it since we launched our company in 2018. They embody the kind of, the mindset that showcases what is possible within humans and what is possible from a sort of human potential perspective. And, we just want to do a really good job in the next year or so, in the build up and during the games, and then post games with the official first of its kind long form documentary. We want to do real justice to the Paralympic Winter movement, and to show to the world how powerful these 6 sports and the athletes within those sports and the wider movement, the characters behind the scenes from the OCOG and beyond, who are really championing and pushing forward the winter movement and winter sports, so that they can grow and that they can build bigger audiences and they can build more passionate and bigger numbers of fans around the world for the different sports and for the athletes within those sports. And we just want to do the movement justice with what we're producing, and we also want to make sure that as many people in the world as possible get to see some of what we're creating and get to learn about these stories and learn about these sports. So we want to build more awareness for these winter sports, build excitement for the games. And then we want to do something, as Livia said earlier, really meaningful and legacy filled post games, where we will release what might be termed as a sort of winter version of Rising Phoenix, in the official long form documentary, which to our understanding has never been done before. So we're very excited, and we really hope that this will have a big impact globally in building more of an awareness of the winter movement and winter sports, and building real excitement for the Winter Games.
Well, this all sounds fantastic. I can't wait to take in all the different content that Calum, you and your team are going to produce, and in partnership with Livia, you and your team. This is going to be an exciting year as we make our way to Milano Cortina. Calum, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
Livia, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
Nathan, as you were not in the interview, I want to throw the ball over to you. What were your first impressions from that interview with Calum and Livia?
The biggest takeaway that I have from the interview with Calum and Livia is just how personal this filmmaking is going to be going into Milano Cortina and even afterwards, as that legacy is so important, but especially because the Winter Games are only 6 sports, so that allows for that more of intimacy with the athletes, with the stories, with the sport. So I really think that it's going to be amazing just to see that. And I love that little plug that you did to your hot takes too, bringing up the biathlon, but also bringing up the hockey. But I got to ask you, is there anything that you really took away from that interview?
Well, other than Calum clearly knowing the impact and the importance of the para ice hockey competition between Canada and the U.S., no, I think there is a lot to be gained from the knowledge that they both have in that passion that they're bringing into this. They're, as Calum talked about, it's like being aware and having that understanding, having done the long form documentary and other content around the Paralympics, approaching the Winter Games for the first time ever. It allows a new challenge, a new opportunity that they can explore. Rising Phoenix was phenomenal. It won awards for a reason, and I can't wait personally to see what they're able to do with the Winter Games. Yes, there's only those 6 sports, but there's so many storylines that you can explore within that, and that has me really excited. What about you, Nathan?
I just think, as you said, it's those 6 sports, and there's so much to explore. There's so many people and personalities. Like, we just talk about Canadian sports, but we also dive into the international side too. And just in the sports that we get to cover, especially on the winter side, just the personalities, just the passions day in, day out is really amazing. But I also think, and Livia brought it up as well, is just the venues in Milano Cortina, as they're using a lot of sites from previous games or previous major events, and just the backdrop of the Alps, of the mountains there are going to be absolutely phenomenal. And I think it's going to really give that stunning backdrop to so many just phenomenal stories. So I think it's overall going to be a massive success, and just continuing that incredible momentum from previous documentaries that they've done in the past.
Yeah, and hopefully the accessibility, the parasport movement in Milano Cortina, that lives on, that grows, that expands after the games are done. And that's something that Livia mentioned, that groundwork, that legacy project will carry on. But it was certainly an international interview with people representing the meccas of London, Milan, and then Hamilton, Ontario. Clearly all on the same page with that. But enough about that fantastic interview. Nathan, there's a lot of action on the basketball court with Canada. Take it away with the PSN update.
Now, the PSN update.
The gateway to South America, Colombia, welcomed the Americas for the 2025 U23 IWBF Americas Championship. Canada opened their campaign with a narrow defeat to Brazil. In their second match, they fell just short against the Americans, and now they go up against the host, Colombia. With the games broadcasting on YouTube at the IWBF's page, you can see the Canada stars of the future. Heading north of the 49th parallel, the basketball action dribbles forward as Prince Edward Island hosts the Junior East Championships from the 4th to the 6th of April, featuring Ontario, Nova Scotia, New Brunswick, Quebec, and PEI. The championships acts as a prelude to next week's Canadian Wheelchair Basketball League Open Finals in Montreal. Starring Canada's best, the CWL Finals will put provincial pride into overdrive. The action tips off April 11th, and that's the PSN update.
And staying within the world of provincial action, there was a bit of provincial news, Nathan. One wheelchair basketball star is leaving my home province of Ontario and joining up with your home province of BC. Tell me a bit more about that.
Yeah, Bo Hedges is returning to his home province, is going to be representing British Columbia at the CWBL finals. So we got him back on our side, so advantage us at the end of the day.
Well, I guess we'll have to wrap things up with that. Bo is leaving Ontario, going back to BC. We'll see how things play out when the games get started. But that's it for us on PSN. We'll catch you next time.
Thanks for tuning in to Parasport Nation. Like and subscribe to the channel to follow us now.